In today's video, I am going to be breaking down 5 baseline inbounds plays that you can use against a man-to-man defense in basketball. So let's get down and let's check these out. Really quickly, some are going to be a little bit more easier than others, so depending on the level of team that you coach, you may or may not be able to use all of these plays. Really quickly, if you want a killer defense, make sure to go check out my Unbeatable Basketball Zone defense book that is down in the description below. That is going to allow you to double team the low post, but also trap the corners without leaving any players open. Okay, so in this first play, what we want to try and do is to get player 3 an open 3-point shot on this wing. How we're going to do that is have player 4 pop out as fast as possible, and player 3 is going to inbound the ball to player 4. At this time, player 2 is going to be popping out. We're going to try and swing this ball around the perimeter, and player 1 and 5 are going to be setting up in an elevator screen for player 3. Player 3 is going to go between those two players. They're going to close like an elevator door. Meanwhile, while that's happening, player 2 is going to be dribbling out towards this left side, or at least towards the point, and then he's going to then make that pass over to player 3 for hopefully the 3-point shot. Now, if this doesn't work, let's say player 3's man fought through. At this time, it's very simple. We're going to clear out the key, and now we're going to be setting up our set offense, or a motion offense. Personally, I prefer motion after a set play, like an inbounds or just a regular set play. Now, this next play is going to be a little problemsome for most teams. If you have a big center, this could be a fantastic option for your team. So what you're going to be doing is having player 2 as well as player 1 setting that screen up top for player 5. At this time, player 5 is either going to use player 1 or player 2 as a screen, and if they switch, that's exactly what we want, because this is a shooting guard, this is a point guard, and this is a center, somebody who is much taller. So with a center cutting to the rim, and if they switch, this is a massive mismatch, and there should be some easy baskets happening with player 5 who is cutting to the basket. Now, if that's not open, player 1 is going to clear out, and at this time, player 4 is going to be setting that screen down. Let's say they blew up this play by trying to use this man as a cutoff or whatever. Player 4 will set that screen on player 2, and player 2 will pop out, whether that's a screen on player 5 or let's say player 5, red or blue, got through, or whether it be a screen on player 2. Either way, the next option is going to be player 2 out on the perimeter, and what that's going to result in is, at the very least, an inbounds so that we can set up a play, or at the very best, a 3-point shot. Now, this is one that worked extremely well for me. I actually drew this up in the middle of a junior game last year, and what we had was our big center. This is junior basketball. He was 6'4", 6'5" in that region, and what we did was almost like a reverse elevator. I told him you can choose between players 4 and 2, or you can choose 1 and 4. Either way, it doesn't matter what side he cuts on, he's going to cut, and they are going to close on his man. At this time, he should be open for that pass, and that's exactly what happened, and we were able to score very easily. If he was covered and they couldn't get that pass through, I was having player 2 pop out, and player 4 set a screen on player 1, who can then pop out to the perimeter. One of these two players should be open, but it didn't come to that for us. We had that first option hit right away. Now, I call this one a double curl. I actually have the player 2 and 4 set outside of the key. Now, I know there are some coaches that will set them up in the high post. I just find it's too congested down there, so I have them set up out on the 3-point line. And it's very simple. Basically, players 4 as well as player 5, they're going to cut, and what they're going to do is make each other disappear. Basically, what they're going to do is they're going to come together, they're going to loop around, and they're going to then return back out to where they started. Generally speaking, it messes up the defense, and one of these two guys are open. But at the same exact time, player 2 and 1 are going to do the exact same thing and pop back out towards the sides that they came from. again, messes up the defense. Our top options, our number one options would be 5-2, backup would be 4, and player 1 will not be open because of the backboard, but he could cut backdoor depending on what defenses are doing, and he may be open for that layup. Now, this next one makes a lot of teams upset and mad. So what we're going to start with is player 2 and 1 setting back screens on players 5 and 4. 5 and 4 are going to cut to the rim, and one of those two players are going to be open. Your first 4, 5, 6, maybe 7 times running this, those two big guys are going to be open. They may try to switch eventually, but even then there's a mismatch, so it don't matter. After 5, maybe 6 times of running this in a single game, what you're going to find is those guys are not going to be open. They're going to start cheating, maybe running something else on defense. But after this happens, player 2 sets the screen on this side. Player 1 then runs through the screen, and he's going to be open as a backup option out on that wing. I hope that these plays help you. Make sure to go check out my Unbeatable Basketball Zone Defense book that is down in the description below. If you are looking for a deadly zone defense that will allow you to double team the low post and trap the corners without leaving a single player open. Anyways, I hope that this video has helped you. If it has, I'll see you guys again in my next video.